Let me put it another way, please. Write this down. 7 ways to self-love. Please, this is good stuff. Write this down. This is fresh from manna of heaven. Number 1, self-love is a result of self-discovery. I need another seminar to teach that all by itself. You got to discover yourself first or you'll never love yourself. Number 2, self-love is a result of self-source. What I mean by that is you have to discover where yourself was sourced. Where did you come from? You cannot love yourself if you don't know where you came from. Because source determines value. Oh boy. In other words, if I took a piece of rock and I cut it in half, does it become anything else? No, it's just a piece of a rock again. And if I cut it again, what it becomes? A piece of rock again. In other words, whatever it was originally, no matter how I break it down, that's what it is. So if I took a diamond and I cut it in half, what I got? 2 diamonds. Cut it again, I got what? 4 diamonds. So now, you see, it maintains the value. So if you don't know your source, you don't know your value. Number 3, self-love is a result of self-worth. You can never give yourself worth if you don't know where you came from. And you can't know where you came from if you don't discover yourself and discover your source. In other words, you are suffering from other people's value of you. And that's why you need them to keep giving you value. Or sometimes we create value out of the things we collect. That's why the fashion industry controls your life and you're broke and depressed. Because you keep trying to buy things to give yourself value because you ain't know how much you're worth. This is why you collect cars with big names and dresses with fancy, brand names and shoes with brand names, and you want to live in a certain way. Why? Because that whole thing has to do with a lack of self-love. You need to collect things to give yourself value. That's why when you lose them, you really go crazy. Self-worth. Number 4, self-love is a result of self-esteem. Esteem means how much do you estimate you cost or worth? What is your estimate of your value? And some people, it is so low, they sell themselves on the street. It's called prostitution. Sometimes they sell themselves sophisticatedly in their jobs. Or even sell themselves in a relationship that they know they shouldn't go that low, but they don't have any estimation of their true value, and so they sell themselves cheap on the altar of compromise just to have company around them. What a tragedy. You shouldn't marry anybody to make you feel important. Forget it. Self-love is a result of self-esteem. When you realize how much you are worth, you fall in love with yourself. Let me give you an example. If I gave you a plastic ring out of a Cracker Jack box, and then gave you a $10,000 diamond ring, and gave you both of them, which one would you really love the most? Isn't that amazing? Which one would you want to know where it is all the time? You don't care where the plastic ring is. Which one do you put in a nice leather pouch, and you put it in a private place, maybe in a safe deposit here? I mean the plastic. See, self-estimation makes you treat yourself with leather pouch experience. Don't touch this. I just can't go anywhere. I am diamond. This ain't plastic. I can't be seen just with anybody. Come on, y'all talk to me now. See, but it has to do with your self-esteem. Self-love. That's why Christ says that's the most important love on earth. Not the love for your neighbor. And number 5, self-love is a result of self-concept. Concept has to do with picture. The word concept means idea or picture. How do you picture yourself determines how you treat yourself. And that picture comes from your discovery of where you came from. A diamond is a diamond is a diamond. You ever heard that? And they say a rose is a rose is a rose. In other words, once the thing is it, that's what it is. And so your picture of yourself doesn't come from other people, but we keep getting it from them. Oh, you look nice. Well, listen, I don't need you to tell me I look nice. I told myself that this morning before I left. And if you never told me, I still know I look nice because I'm cool, man. This is me. I love myself. You understand me? See, self-concept, you don't walk around allowing people to paint you how you should feel about yourself. You're supposed to know who you are. You know, I was thinking tonight when I was preparing to come to talk, I said, you know, Jesus Christ would not have gotten along well with most of us. He was opposite to what my mother and father taught me in this same island when I was a little boy. They said, son, never talk about yourself. And I think that came from the British oppression, colonialism, where we were taught that we were nothing, you know. So my mom they referred to, boy, stop talking about yourself. Stop talking about yourself. Boy, you know, be considerate and stop talking about yourself. Now you see, that may sound nice, but that's stupid. That's what causes low self-esteem. When your child says, well, mommy, I'm good at this. Boy, don't say you're good, you know. No, stop that. Stop, you know, talking big about yourself. And they will correct you from feeling good about yourself. Now, here comes Jesus. He would not get along with us. Every day, all day, the guy was into himself. He had a picture of himself that was almost irritating. And it was irritating. That's why the Pharisees, who had low self-esteem, attacked him all the time. Because he kept using this word. I. And that's the way my mother said, you never use that word, son. Stop saying I. Remember that? Some of you all grew up with that. I. His I was constant. I am the bread of life. I am the water of life. I am the door. I am the way. I am the truth. I am the resurrection. I am the sheep gate. I am the way. I am the life. I am the bread. I am the water. I am the resurrection. I. Brother, you a lot of I. Yes, I am. That's why I don't need your opinion to tell me who I am. Now, here's what mesmerized me about Jesus. Write this down. This changed my life at 18. I wrote it down at 18. He never spoke negative about himself. Number two, he never accepted anybody's opinion of himself. Because when you have a sense of self-concept, your own picture, that other people's opinion don't touch you. Their perception don't touch you. You got to be very important to be able to say to yourself, I am. If you don't know who you are, we'll tell you who you should be. And there's your problem. Have you ever seen people do this? One of the signs of self-hatred is when you take people shopping with you all the time. Oh, I'm in trouble now, see. But I'm going to say it. See, you say, let's go shopping. Okay, we go shopping. I ain't got no problem with that. That part is okay. You know, you want friends, that's fine. But when you go to a store and you put on something that you like, and then you come out of the dressing room and say, what do you think? And she says, you go take it off. Now that's stupid. That is crazy. If you like it, honey, this is my body. Forget what you think. I love me. I like this. Clap, clap, clap. Praise God. But that's a sign of self-hatred, see? Why? You want to dress to please the person. It's a sign of self-hatred. And I know I have seen some things that people wore that other people liked, but it didn't look good on them. I've seen some things. I told my wife sometime, she didn't see herself leaving the house today. I know that. No one would come out of the house looking like that. But they were dressed for other people. Self-hatred. Number 6, self-love is a result of self-identity. When you know who you are, you fall in love with yourself. Number 7, self-love is a result of self-value. How much do you value yourself? That gives you your love for yourself. If you believe you are valuable, you fall in love with yourself. Just like that ring that's diamond or plastic. So discovery of your identity determines your attitude toward yourself, and that determines the measure of love of yourself, and that determines how much you can love me. I think this is a very important night because we've been asking people the wrong questions. You should never ask someone, do you love me? That's the wrong question first. First question, but excuse me, do you love you? That never is asked. And that is the question. And if they are shocked by the question, leave fast. Because right away you know they don't even know what you're talking about. See? This is why marriages don't work. People go into marriage looking for love. You don't go to marriage looking for love. You go to marriage because you already love yourself and you want to share that with someone else. That's all. You ain't looking for none. You got it already. It's very important. And number 7, self-value. And here's some point I want to make here. Self-love is the source of true singleness. I think you're feeling it already. That's why I always tell people, you ain't single yet. Singleness is the most important relationship in the world. Because singleness is being totally in love with yourself first. Singleness means that you love yourself so much, if no one loves you, you're still happy. Singleness means that your best friend is yourself. You can spend all day with yourself and take yourself out for dinner. Oh, come on, I feel like shouting all by myself. And believe me, I could do it all the time. Even as a married man, take myself for dinner and order stuff for myself. Love myself. That's why my wife is so safe, because I love myself. I won't say that too deep. Okay. 10 manifestations of self-love. This is a measure. Write this down. This will tell you if you love yourself, okay? So you can measure it when you go home. Study this for the next 3 days. Come back every session. And remember, this is what we want to focus on. If you're going to be single and affluent and an influencer, you got to begin with self-love. Here's how you know if you love yourself. Number 1, self-confidence. Total confidence. And by the way, when people who don't love themselves meet a person who does love themselves, they always consider them arrogant. Because their insecurity is intimidated by their security, and so they call that arrogance. It's not arrogance. They just love themselves. Number 2, self-love is manifested in self-respect. If you believe you are a diamond, you don't just put yourself in any situation, go with anybody, wear anything. You have self-respect. It's a sign of self-love. You got your breasts out with no bra and a thin see-through blouse. That tells me a lot about how you feel about yourself. You ain't got to tell me nothing. I can see. Oh, come on, clap anyhow. Praise God. You shouldn't be that cheap around the world, selling yourself free and no one paying for it, everyone watching, looking at you. You just lowered your value. It's a sign that you have no self-respect. Number 3, self-love is manifested in self-assurance. A self-assured person is somebody who seems so assured they almost intimidate you. They're bold, they are confident, they are not afraid, they just believe, they just know, and they make you feel afraid. That's self-love. Number 4, self-love is self-assertiveness. When a person has love for themselves, they assert themselves. Now, they don't do it to try and be pushy. Assert means that they believe they got something to offer, so they offer it. And that could be advice, direction, input. In other words, look, you don't know what you're doing. Let me give you some advice. And you may call that pushy. No, that's self-love being manifested. It is someone saying, look, I know what I believe, and I know in whom I believe, and I got something that you could use. Number 5, self-love is manifested in self-motivation. When a person loves themselves, they are internally motivated. They don't depend on people to get them going. When you love yourself, you manage your own feelings. You decide what to do every morning yourself. You don't need no one to give you no schedule. You make your own schedule in life when you love yourself. When you love yourself, you believe that you are so important that you need to plan to give your life to the world today. Number 6, self-love is manifested, write this down, in self-values. Self-value means a person who loves themselves place value on their lives so high that they don't come down to meet nobody. They bring people up where they are. They value the things that are important to them. Number 7, self-love is manifested in self-giving. And this one is very key. Notice Jesus said, he said, you can only love your neighbor if you love yourself. In other words, you can't give me what you ain't got for yourself. So self-love provides you with the equipment to give yourself to somebody else without expecting anything back. Let me put it another way. If I don't need you to love me and I love you, if you don't love me back, that don't matter to me. I went too fast. Let me try it again. I love me, I meet you, I love you. But I don't need you to love me because I love you before I met you. So if you withhold your love even though I love you, that doesn't take away anything from me because I love you before I met you. So I don't love you to get love from you. I love you because I am full of love of myself. That's why Jesus Christ could die for us. And we turn our back and curse him. Why? Because it wasn't a matter of him needing love back. You don't understand love. He knew that he was so valuable that you needed what he had. And whether you received it or not didn't matter because he had it before you even received it or not received it. Self-love is able to give itself without manipulating people. Number 8, self-love is self-affirmed, self-affirmation. Self-affirmation means when you love yourself, you tell yourself you love yourself. You don't go around saying, what do you think? No. This is what I think. I like this. Self-affirmation means you congratulate yourself. But now what I did, that was pretty good. And some of you all got ideas, but that ain't. Listen, I'm just like my daddy. My daddy's an amazing daddy. My daddy did this. 500 million galaxies. And then my daddy says, that's good. Come on, clap. It's my daddy. That's good. And then he made you, he said, now that's very good. See, when you have a good love for yourself, God is what? God is love. That's why he tells himself, that's good. If you wait around to be approved by everybody, that's a sign that you have self-hatred. You need other people to give you value. You know if you love yourself when you didn't do a good job. So you tell yourself, now that's not as good as I could be. I'll be back. Self-love gives you the confidence to be able to give yourself away and affirm yourself. And this is why self-loved people are not manipulated by anyone. This is why criticism runs off their backs like water on a cat. It's not because they can't feel, It's just that their feelings are not out for manipulation. Number 9, self-love is manifested in self-forgiving. Now this one is very deep. The average person in this room have not forgiven themselves for a lot of things yet. And sometimes you think you do, but you keep carrying this weight. Boy, what I did 5 years ago, I don't know. And you carry this thing. Oh, the things I did last year, man. See, and you can't. Listen, when a person loves themselves, they actually have a good nature with themselves, and they say, that was dumb what I did last week. Now, you know better than that, Myles. Why you did that? Stop doing that. Yes, Myles. Okay. See, and they forgive themselves. We walk around trying to get people to forgive us, when in fact we haven't forgiven ourselves. Now, remember, you can't do for others what you haven't done for yourself. So if you ain't forgiven yourself, you can't forgive me. And number 10, self-love is manifested in self-investing. Okay, if I gave you a diamond ring, would you pay to secure it? I say $50,000 diamond ring. Would you just put it on the floor? No. You would pay to get some kind of security for that, right? You would even pay maybe for, what you call them box? Yeah, you would pay monthly for safe deposit box. Why? Because it's valuable. In other words, you would invest in something that is valuable. Now, you wouldn't get a safe deposit box for a plastic ring or a Cracker Jack box. In other words, investment is a measure of value. I love myself so much that I try to read 4 books a month. I keep investing in myself. Come on, I think I have something important to offer the world. So I keep expanding my mind, expanding my concepts, learning new things so I can learn how to be more effective. I keep investing in myself. Why? I love myself. Then I make sure I eat good food, and I try to pay a little extra to get healthy food. Instead of drinking, just the juice drink, I drink the pulp, so the pulp drinks. And it might be a little extra, but I love myself, see? And so I invest in myself because I want to be strong and always ready to go, At age 54, man, you want to fight? Come on. In other words, when you love something, you invest in it. So here's a guy sucking on a cigarette. That tells me right away the guy don't love his lungs. Self-love determines what you invest in. You invest to go back to evening school, to take a course that you didn't get, because you love yourself. You decide you're going to lose 20 pounds because the doctor says this ain't good for your heart, and you love yourself so much, you're going to invest in getting up early in the morning, a little extra jogging, stop going to the all-you-can-eat section. You then invest in yourself. Why? Because you love yourself. Some folks just let themselves go, and that's a sign that they don't love all of themselves. Sometimes they love the intellect, but they don't love the body. Where is your self-love? You talk about singleness. Write this down. This is very important. Every human was created to influence the world. And I want to just bring these 3 words to you tonight and let the others pick up on these words. I want them to write definitions down. I did a lot of research for you the last few days. Okay. Singleness and influence. Let's talk about that. When you fall in love with yourself, what happens after that? Well, here's a thought. Every human was created to influence their world. So when we talk about influence as a single, that includes you. But I get some answers for you tonight. Influence is defined as the capacity to impact one's environment. That includes the people and circumstances through presence, performance, personality, and competence. Write those words down. If you want to be an impact in the world before you die, you need those words in your life. Presence, performance, personality, and competence. You become an influence when those 4 things are developed in your life. Now, presence means that when you walk into a place, just walking into the place could have an impact. That's a sign that you have influence. Secondly, performance. Performance means you are so good at what you do that you demand respect. So you become an influence. If Michael Jordan says, let me say a few words about basketball, everybody shuts up. Why? Because he has proven by his performance, he knows the game. So he has influence over that whole area. Number 3, personality. Now, personality has to do with your personality. The person that you display, how you walk, how you greet people, how you present yourself physically, visually, smiling, confidence, not being brash, having dignity, physical dignity. That's personality. And this last one is important, competence. If you meet somebody with a PhD in physics, all of a sudden they have influence. You get a PhD in anything, you have influence when you walk in the room. Why? You took the time to get competence in that area. That's why they say knowledge is a source of influence. And the more knowledge you get, the more influential you become.